Okay, we'll call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation following.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, please bless our elected officials. Grant them the wisdom to know and the courage to do what is right for all citizens. Amen.
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 I could take the old paper off and put this.
Roll call, please.
Allen,
Here.
Green,
Here.
LaFour,
Here.
Mistravich,
Here.
Reindell,
Here.
Ricks,
Here.
Warren.
Here.
Good to see everybody here tonight. Approval of minutes for the regular city council meeting of February 3rd. Motion would be in order.
Motion.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Is there any discussion? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We have no audience this evening unless one of you gentlemen want to be considered as part of the audience. Otherwise, I will bypass the two of you, and we will go directly to council's motions and adoptions. Mr. City Manager, any changes to the agenda?
No changes.
City Council, any changes to the agenda? Being that, a motion to accept the agenda as presented would be in order.
I'll make the motion.
Support.
Motion been made and supported to accept the agenda as presented. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Is there a consent agenda? Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion's been made and supported. There's no discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on to items for consideration, which we have 7 this evening. The first one being consideration of special event request, Vacation Bible School by Grace Community Church. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to give consideration on a request from Grace Community Church to have a 20 by 20 tent in conjunction with their Vacation Bible School from Monday, July 27th through Thursday, July 30th. This is a very similar request to what we've received the last 5 years, and you'll notice that the dates of the motion also include their setup and takedown days.
Thank you. Is there a motion before any discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve the special event application for a tent in conjunction with Grace Community Church's Vacation Bible School from July 26th through August 1st, 2020, with the following requests: 20 by 20 tent into Friday Street right-of-way, temporary fence adjacent to tent along Friday Street.
Support.
Motion's been made and supported. Is there any discussion on this item? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We wish them good luck and good weather. Item number 2, consideration of bid award aggregate materials. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to consider awarding the 2020 aggregate material contract. The project was advertised in Minton, and the advertisement was placed in The Voice. The city received 10 bids, and our recommendation is to go with the low bidder, which is TR Piperzak. And Public Service Director Jim Getzinger is here tonight if you have any questions.
Thank you. Is there a motion before discussion?
Make the motion to award the 2020 aggregate material supply contract to TR Piperzak at the unit prices of $16.30 per ton for 21 AA limestone and $7.95 per ton for MDOT Class 3 sand.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Is there any discussion on this item? Any questions of our DPW Director? If not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Item number 3, consideration of wastewater treatment plant automatic transfer switch, commonly referred to tonight as an ATS. Mr. City Manager?
The City of Richmond's wastewater treatment plant utilizes a permanent generator to maintain operations in the event of a loss of power. The automatic transfer switch is intended to monitor the main line power and automatically switch to the temporary power when necessary. The existing switch, however, has only been working intermittently, and so at times when we've lost power, wastewater treatment plant employees have been called in to transfer the switch manually. So Jim, working with Tetra Tech, got bids on this, and administration is recommending the purchase from the low bidder, which is Michigan Cat.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to authorize the expense of $11,304 for the purchase of an automatic transfer switch from Michigan Cat, with expenses charged to the appropriate line items in the wastewater treatment equipment and replacement fund.
Support.
That was
In
like,
unison.
You guys were right on the money there.
Harmony.
Yeah. Discussion on the motion. Jim, I guess the bottom line here is the ATS that is in place right now, are any of them one of those three brands, Cummins, Kohler, or Cat?
No, it's old and obsolete. You can't get parts for it, so it's not something that we can repair. And these three contracts are all, or suppliers are all on this Sourcewell, a government cooperative. That's why those three were solicited, because they're already kind of vetted, and these are the lowest suppliers for those manufacturers.
Okay. I just saw there was quite a difference in price. You know, the $6,000 spread between the Cat and the Cummins. I just was wondering.
Yeah, well, the Cummins is known to, they're typically more expensive in all of their products, and they are a very reputable company. But I did ask those questions of Tetra Tech, because I'm not extremely knowledgeable in the three, but Cat, he said they're certainly reliable. It's a reliable product, so even though they're significantly less, I would say Cummins would be treated as like the Cadillac, if you will, but they're all perform the way we would need them to. All three of them have been reviewed by Tetra Tech and do what we need, yeah. And this is just to purchase that. There will be at a later date, we will solicit quotes to actually install that product, but it's cheaper for the city to purchase it directly, and that's why we're doing that.
You know, when I first read this, I was looking at the numbers. I thought it was for the new generator.
Yeah.
When you're talking $11,000,
Yeah,
it was
right.
like, this is just a switch to switch it over.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's amazing, but I know house switches are like $700 to $1,000, depending on, you know, the amperage there on houses. So when we're talking, what was it? How many K was this? It was huge anyhow, 1,200?
Yeah, 1,200 amp.
1,200, yeah.
Yeah,
It would make sense, about $1,000, 1,000, you know. I guess it makes sense, but just, ooh.
Yeah, that generator I've been told by our maintenance contractor that it is getting old as well, and that will be very expensive when we have to replace that.
Yeah.
But given the stuff that we've proved lately, is the wastewater treatment plant kind of getting back up to where you need it to be? I mean, we've been buying some stuff
There's still
lately.
more to come. The plant's been around for 30 years since the expansion, so there's been very little since anything big since then. So we're getting to that point
We're in
where
that age,
Tetra Tech's really stepping up. We will start to see more in recent. In the next year, we'll have a few more items.
Any other discussion?
I just have a question. Since this is monitoring and then it does the automatic switch, do you get notified somehow when that happens, or?
Yeah, the plant is set up with, it's called a dialer, so the staff comes in regardless of if that transfers or not. They do come in when the power's out to make sure everything's functioning. Obviously, there's more urgency if the plant is not operating, that they really need to get in there to switch that manually. It has been working recently, that automatic transfer switch, but the intent of that, it's intelligent in that it transfers and it monitors, so it's not going on and off. You don't want to keep switching power from mainline power to generator and back, and it's bad on the motor. So it's a important piece of equipment to protect the equipment we have at the plant.
And I think we don't experience so many blackouts like we used to in the city since Edison made some changes there on the feeds. But that particular area, I believe, gets hit the hardest. It's Diane
Like you
Lane.
said, the majority of the city is much better than it used to be, but that section right there, actually just about Diane Lane and the treatment plant are the only two things that are still somewhat subject to some blackouts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this, as Jim said, this is a pretty important piece of equipment.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass.
Thank you.
Item number 4, consideration of approving the Richmond TV standards, procedures, and guidelines. Mr. City Manager?
City Council is scheduled to consider approving an amended Richmond TV standards, procedures, and guidelines document. The Richmond TV has taped the regular meetings of the Richmond City Council since roughly the mid to late 1990s, and the Richmond School Board, or Board of Education, since the early 2000s. Due to some recent events, administration and the Cable Commission felt it was necessary to take a look at our guidelines again, just so we know specifically what we regularly tape, and then what is the process should someone want something taped in addition to those regular meetings. So the policies and procedures that the Cable Commission forwarded to the council will set that up and give a process by which we can take requests, how those requests will be processed, and who will have the final say on what additional meetings would be taped. And so these were approved, I think it was last week.
Last
at
Tuesday.
the Cable Commission meeting, and recommended for approval formally by the City Council. And so Jason Robbins, our cable coordinator, is here to, along with myself, to answer any questions you may have, but the changes are in your packet.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion before discussion?
Make the motion to approve the amended Richmond TV standards, procedures, and guidelines.
Support.
What's been made and supported, discussion.
I just have a question, maybe I missed it, but, like, if there's something that comes up last minute that says, hey, we should probably be taping this, or there's a request, I know there's a committee that kind of decides. Is there a special meeting?
We've
What happened
discussed this, that at least how we feel it will work is that we will probably, with the three-member committee, call them each, explain what's the request. If there's time, like you said, sometimes we may have enough time to call a special meeting, but other times that may happen through like phone calls.
Okay.
And again, like we did recently with the council. Now, should someone have a difference of opinion on how the council formally rules, then we would certainly have to have a meeting and set that up for them to come and meet before council. But at least in the interim, like you said, some of these things are pretty last minute.
Right.
So we may have to kind of keep it a little loose on how we reach those committee members. But again, there's also a process for if somebody doesn't feel they got the right answer, that we would then go to a more formal meeting.
Okay. So then in that situation where would they have to kind of maybe list why they want to, as opposed to like you calling each one?
Yeah,
So the story
administration
gets a
would
little bit
ask.
different each one, and they say, well, no, that's not what we asked for.
Yeah, administration would ask for them to kind of provide us with some information on their reasonings, what they feel the public, why they feel the meeting they're requesting is in the public interest.
Jason, did you have anything you wanted to add to this at all?
Not really, just if any of you had any questions. It's written out pretty well in the policy, so it gives me a good framework of what to work on based on, going forward. What do we do in this situation type of thing. And it also, with putting the Open Meetings Act in there, it allows us to just be able to say, no matter what, we're able to record any of the meetings. So
Right.
it lets everyone know ahead of time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And then you may have seen some minor changes. Since we were doing this change, we also went through and kind of cleaned up some incorrect addresses and some outdated technologies, but the main focus was this section.
I guess I have one more question. Kind of if this gets, should we, I guess when it's time, since the budget time is coming up, should we maybe put a line item there just in case somebody wants to, or we end up taping things that we normally didn't, and it's not really in the
We
budget?
certainly could. I think our budget currently has enough money for additional meetings. You know, we pay our volunteers, I think, $20 to do a meeting. And we could always do a budget amendment in a particular year if we have a lot of meetings that we didn't anticipate, but we could certainly put a little extra in there.
Generally, we don't really record that many special meetings, so
I know.
I think on the whole, I don't think we're going to see a huge uptick in requests to tape certain meetings. So I have a feeling that, you know, it's going to be the same as usual. Once again, if this situation ever comes up again, we have a framework to go off of instead of just trying to figure out in the dark.
Anything else? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Thank you. Item number 5 is consideration of special event request, Richmond Lions Club White Cane Sale. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to consider the request received from the Richmond Lions Club to conduct their annual White Cane Sale on Friday, April 24th, and Saturday, April 25th. The Lions Club is requesting permission from council to conduct the sale at the intersections of Main and Division and County Line and St. Clair Highway. And again, administration has drafted the motion so that they won't be in the Main and Division intersection during school traffic on Friday.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion before discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve the request received from the Richmond Lions Club to conduct their White Cane Sale at the intersections of Main Division and County Line and St. Clair Highway, City Side, on Friday, April 24th and Saturday, April 25th, 2020, from dawn to dusk. Further, the Lions Club agrees not to be in the Main Street Division intersection on Friday, April 25th, from 2:30 to 3:30, and further that the Lions agree to sign a liability waiver.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion on this? Wonder how many years this has been. I don't believe the Lions told us that, did they? No. It's been a long, long time they've been selling the white canes there. Any other discussion on the motion?
I just have a question on that. The intersection, County Line Road, St. Clair Highway, City Side. And I'm asking this because I've seen some other people that have been out there and not sure, since they're not on the city side, and I know that we didn't approve it. Do they need to carry something with them that says, yeah, we got the local jurisdiction approval to be here?
They don't. I know St. Clair County, when this issue came up back when the state had they went back and forth there with the Attorney General for a little bit, St. Clair County is pretty much hands-off on enforcing this issue. So there's not, I know we had some people soliciting at Division and Gratiot, which is the St. Clair County road right-of-way. And again, they didn't have, what I called them. They're not going to need any permission slip from us, is, I guess, the answer to your question.
Okay. But they, in that case, do you know if they got permission from St. Clair? You're saying that they take complete hands-off?
They're pretty much hands-off, yep. Much as I don't like that answer, that's the answer I got when I checked into it this summer.
Yeah, especially since our police department will be the ones responding if something happens.
Yep.
Anything else? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Item number 6, consideration of special event request, Memorial Day Parade from the VFW Post 6802 in Richmond. Mr. City Manager.
Council is scheduled to consider the request we received from the VFW Post 6802 to conduct the annual Memorial Day Parade. The parade will be held on Monday, May 25th, 2020, beginning at 10 a.m. at the Richmond High School parking lot. And also VFW has requested that the city purchase 3 wreaths for St. Michael's Cemetery, the Richmond Cemetery, and the Veterans Memorial on Main Street. I have forwarded this request off to the school, who has already approved the use of the parking lot.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to adopt resolution 2020-2, which directs the city clerk to apply to the Michigan Department of Transportation to close M19 on Monday, May 25th, 2020, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for the purpose of conducting the annual Memorial Day Parade.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Certainly appreciate the VFW doing this again this year. Hope for good weather. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We have a second motion to authorize the 3 wreaths. Is there a mo-
I'll make a motion to authorize the purchase of 3 wreaths to be placed at the Richmond Cemetery, St. Michael Cemetery, and the Veterans Memorial.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? You're not? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Excuse me. Item number 7 is consideration of board appointments. So first one for the board of review, Mr. City Manager.
Council's scheduled to consider making appointments to the Board of Review and the Board of Zoning Appeals. We received 2 applications back for the Board of Review. Susan Foster reapplied, and for the Board of Zoning Appeals, Mike Mistrovich reapplied.
Thank you. I would hope that you would approve and confirm my reappointment of Susan Foster to the Board of Review. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to confirm the mayor's reappointment of Susan Foster to the Board of Review for a 3-year term with an expiration date of December 31st, 2021.
Support.
It's been made and supported. Any discussion? Susan does a fantastic job, according to our administration also.
I have a question. So both Susan and Mrs. Forsyth expired, so we're still missing one?
We're missing
Okay.
one, yes,
Oh, yeah.
correct.
So, anyhow, any other discussion on Susan's confirmation? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. We thank Susan. We have another motion here for the Board of Zoning Appeals. Is there a motion?
Make the motion to reappoint Mike Mistrovich to the Board of Zoning Appeals for a 3-year term with the expiration date of December 31st, 2021.
Support.
Motion's been made and supported. Any discussion? We thank you, Michael, for
You're welcome.
throwing your hat back in the ring again. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on to miscellaneous matters from the city manager. Sir?
This Thursday, you'll receive a packet for the special meeting with the library board. In there, you'll get all of the background information that we had at the workshop. We've also taken some time to blow up the map of the new layout to a little bit larger size, so that's legible.
And that meeting is at the library
And
at
yes.
7 o'clock.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And then we recently updated the business directory, so I did put new copies of the business directory in council's mailboxes in the closed session room.
Very good. Okay. Moving on, council comments. Jamie?
None.
Emily?
Nothing tonight,
John?
thank you.
Nothing tonight.
Rob?
All set.
Nope.
Michael?
All set.
Doing the calendar here, as the was mentioned before, the city council will be meeting in workshop setting right after this meeting is concluded tonight. And then next Monday night, we will have a joint council meeting, as just stated by the city manager, at 7 o'clock at the library on the 24th. TIFA will be meeting on the 26th at 7 o'clock right here at City Hall. And the 2019 winter taxes are due. The last day of taxes is the 28th of February. Our next regular city council meeting will be on Monday the 2nd at 7 o'clock right here at City Hall. And we are still selling tables, from what I've been told. The Richmond Police Officers Organization here is having their spring fling, commonly referred to over the years as the Valentine's Day dance. It's been known by a couple of things over the years, I believe. But they're calling it the spring fling, and it's Saturday, March 7th at Mariachi's, and it's $35 per person, and you can call 727-1011 to get your tickets for that event. And that's a fundraiser for many of the things that our Police Officers Association does throughout the year. And I believe that is it. There still is hall walking going on through the Parks and Recreation Department every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night at the Richmond Middle School from 6 to 8 p.m. And there's a $1 drop-in fee each night. And I believe that's it for tonight. We do have a closed session this evening. Excuse me. We need a motion to go into closed session.
I'll make a motion to convene into closed session in accordance with Section 8 of the Michigan Open Meetings Act, Public Act 267 of 1976, as amended, for strategy and negotiation sessions connected with the negotiation of a collective bargaining agreement as requested by administration.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Being not, roll call, please.
Green,
Yes.
LaFour,
Yes.
Nastrovich,
Yes.
Rindell,
Yes.
Ritz,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Motion passes. We will go in closed session.